Hello, my wonderful ladies, and welcome back to the journey if you are one of my wonderful subscribers. And if you're new here, I am JAKS, and this is my channel where I share our journey through infertility, IVF, adoption, and now science-based parenting. If any of that sounds like your jam, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to join the journey, and consider following me over on Instagram for the latest and greatest news and cute baby pictures. But today we are going to be talking about what you can do to increase your chances of your frozen embryo transfer being successful. Let's jump in. Before I even begin, I want to preface this with IVF is stressful, frozen embryo transfers are stressful, and sometimes as women we cling to whatever we can control. And while there are some things that we can do to increase our chances, I want to give you all an out. Most of what determines your success is not up to you. It is how your body interacts with the medication. It is chance. It is the quality of your embryo, and it's not something you can control. So while we're going to spend this video talking about what you can control, remember that is a tiny slice of the odds, and it is okay if you don't do everything perfectly. That being said, there's 5 major factors that we can control that increase or decrease success. The first one is age. Obviously, if you're younger, it's more likely to work. That's just the cruel reality of the fertility world. The young people have the advantage there, so you can't really control that. The next is weight. Being over or underweight really does affect your chances of an FET working. Now, obviously, being underweight, your body is more sensitive to, so please talk to your doctor if you think you need to increase your body weight, because your body naturally prevents you from getting pregnant if it feels like there aren't enough resources there to feed a pregnancy all the way through. Next, if you are obese and morbidly obese, those are really the 2 categories where being overweight starts to show significant decreases in the success rates as well as increases in miscarriages. If you fall into one of those categories or even overweight, please educate yourself on the realities of those increased risks of miscarriages and decreased risks or decreased success rates of transfers. Talk to your doctor, do a little internet research, and decide if you need to step back and take the time, which point 1 shows that, time is never really on your side, to take the time to lose that weight to increase your chances of success overall. That being said, very rapid weight loss, again, triggers your body's kind of self-preservation instincts to not get pregnant. So don't do any crash diets right before doing a transfer to try to get below a line or a goal or whatever. Make sure you're losing that weight in a very healthy manner if you choose to make that one of your goals. Smoking is a big no-no for FETs, and I know I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm throwing this in there just in case people hadn't kind of put it all together. But smoking increases your risk of miscarriage, birth defects, and low birth weight, and it decreases your chances of a successful transfer. So that is something that you really should take the time to get out of your life if you are looking down the barrel of IVF and a transfer. Next, when it comes to alcohol, I know this is a very heated topic on the internet, and so this is a good time for me to say that I'm not a medical professional. I am just an infertility sister who does a lot of research. Now, if we do an analysis, a meta-analysis of all the studies around alcohol and pregnancy, there's a lot going on there that I'm not going to touch on. I will just cover this bit about conception. But if you have 4 or more drinks in one sitting, it has been shown to decrease your chance of conception because it does interfere with that embryo developing appropriately. Now, that's pretty clear. Now, if you want to go on the very safe end and get rid of alcohol, do it. Alcohol is not helping you in any capacity. So if you want to get rid of it, fine. But I understand that's a big jump for some people. There is no research that says there are adverse effects to having 1 to 2 drinks in the time of conception or the first trimester. Because these kind of studies involve ethical dilemmas, we can't do really structured studies, right? You can't give a bunch of pregnant women alcohol and then a bunch not and compare them. Instead, it's an observational study of people who did have drinks versus not. I highly encourage you to read Expecting Better by Emily Oster. I've really enjoyed reading this. I'm reading it right now, and she goes through the analysis of all those studies. Again, this is something that's very personal. Do not come for me in the comments. Just know that you don't need to abstain from drinking. There's no scientific evidence that says you have to abstain from drinking during a transfer. That being said, it's a lot of money, a lot of pressure and you might not feel good enough to drink, by the way. Yeah, drinking during the first trimester is a big no for me because I could not. I just physically could not. Obviously, abstaining from alcohol is the absolute safest. The science says 1 to 2, by the way, 1 to 2 like glasses of wine or beer with a meal, you know, don't be taking shots, that is okay. So if that's part of your lifestyle that you want to keeps you de-stressed during this time, then there's nothing that says you can't. But consult with your doctor, make a personal decision, read up on some studies so you can make your own opinion on that. And finally, what you probably all clicked on this video to see, talk about diet. Obviously, I have made videos before about what kind of diet I try to adhere towards, or not really adhere, but moving towards. I think your diet is something you have your entire life, and so I'm continuously trying to improve that and moving towards a low glycemic index diet because that really helps with my symptoms of PCOS and insulin resistance. I'm not going to rehash that, but a good, healthy, balanced diet is something that can really nourish your body and get it ready to feel safe. Kind of the opposite of the rapid weight loss and being underweight, a heavily nourished body says, yes, I am ready to receive this embryo and I am good to go. That being said, I am taking some supplements, and I'm going to pause here again to give you my philosophy on supplements. It feels good to be able to do something, and I think a lot of us as we go through this infertility world really cling to things that let us feel like we're doing something and we can contribute and we can have control. And I've seen people with 30 bottles of pills, and I think that might just go over the line a little bit. And if that's what you absolutely need to do, okay, but that's very expensive and it doesn't necessarily help. In fact, it introduces a lot of variables now to your cycle, and you might feel guilty if you don't do it the next one. So I don't think having 30 supplements is the answer. I've researched and picked the top ones that I think would actually have a really big impact and have the science behind them to say that they do have an impact, and everything else that's like a wives' tale or in theory and doesn't have science behind it, I dropped. I also dropped anything that said it influenced hormones. This is practical. We are paying a lot of money to have it done. All right, sorry, my neighbor stopped by to give us some dog treats, which was really, really sweet. But now I don't remember where I was, like at all. So I only take a few supplements that have really good kind of research behind them, or I have really good experiences with, and I let the rest fall away. It's expensive, it's another thing to remember, and I want to make sure that everything I'm adding isn't just a, well, it can't hurt type thing. I want to make sure it's actually beneficial, because the can't hurts could also be interfering with drugs that you're taking for your cycle. So I think that's where I was. You're putting a lot of drugs in your body, trying to have a very controlled scientific reaction. And so every other thing that you add in there is another variable. And you really need to disclose that to your doctor to make sure there aren't any drugs that are interfering with those. So anything that has to do with controlling hormones, I avoid, or it claims to balance hormones or influence hormones. No, we are putting a bunch of hormones in our body. We are literally doing injections of hormones. So we don't need to be trying to introduce another hormonal variable. And then anything that has to do with like egg quality, sperm quality, that kind of stuff, also usually doesn't have really a lot of benefit in transfer. Obviously the embryos are already made, so you don't need that. Okay, so finally, what am I taking? I am taking a prenatal. So the prenatal I take is this new chapter vegetarian prenatal, and there's a few things I like about it. One, because it is vegetarian and plant-based, it can be taken on an empty stomach without causing additional nausea, which is something that I struggle with a lot in the first trimester, so I really need it to not add to my nauseous feeling. This is also a prenatal that uses folate versus folic acid. The difference between those is one is natural and one is synthetic. And the only reason that really matters in this context is that some people can't absorb folic acid and need folate. If you have had that test done and you know for sure that you're good and you can absorb folic acid just fine, then go for it, because that's usually cheaper than folate. But if you don't know, it's safer to choose a prenatal that has folate in it. And I'll get you close up of these tablets. The only downside of this is you do need to take 3 a day, and they're tablets, not capsules, so they do have a slight taste. but honestly, it's not like bad. It's not a deterrent. It's just vaguely planty. And like I said, it doesn't trigger anything when I'm nauseous, so I am really good with it. Anyway, I like this brand. I like their transparency, which gets us to our next pill. The next supplement is actually by the same brand, New Chapter, because again, their transparency and ingredients and sourcing is just really, really good. And I found I had such a difficult time. I had such a difficult time finding a fish oil that I could actually know what was in it as far as EPA and DHEA. So those are the two ingredients that you're really looking for in your fish oil supplements, because those are the two that are giving you the benefits of them, along with the omegas, so those fatty acids. There is a lot of research that shows that, you know, fish oils are good in like just your life, but that they are also a essential part in baby developing well. But like most vitamins and supplements, you can't just start taking them at the very beginning. You need to start taking them at the a few months beforehand. So this is another one I'm adding to my FET prep, is to get my body stocked up on good omegas and all the goodness in the fish oils. I think there's some research that also suggests it's kind of like an anti-inflammatory, but that's not as important as all of the good baby development stuff. So why did I choose this brand? One, their transparency, and two, the size of their pill. I'll get you a close-up of that. Fish oils can be massive. And again, if I'm going to be taking this throughout all of pregnancy, I cannot have something that I am gagging upon. So you do have to take 4 of these to get your daily dose, but they're so small and don't taste bad, and I can actually swallow them when I'm nauseous. I'm a little upset with myself. I ran out of my vitamin D supplement, so I can't show you the bottle, but I do use Nature-Wise vitamin D. Maybe I can stack photo it over here. And I do have some pills that I can show you. So I've talked about this, I think, in my last video when I talked about blood work, but I do have a vitamin D deficiency, like most people do. But I have worked with a doctor to find a dosage of vitamin D that works for me. Low vitamin D has been linked to miscarriage, so that is another very proven vitamin that you need to be up to date on. My fertility clinic actually ran it again, and I was within normal range while I was on this supplement. So that's something you need to get it tested. If you're low, take a supplement and then get it retested to make sure that's a sufficient dosage. I have been using Nature-Wise for a long time. They're another really high quality supplement brand, and I found that these were the good price point for me as well, and came in the unit that I needed. And the next 3 things are all to manage gut health. So if you know, I have IBS that I struggle with. All these medications you're on usually can have bad effects for your digestive system. And then pregnancy also comes with usually constipation and nausea and just everything bad with your digestive system. So it's worth, just for your quality of life, getting that under control and getting it in a really good space. Also, a lot of these things also decrease inflammation in the gut, which some people feel like is linked to inflammation elsewhere in the uterus and ovaries, and especially endometriosis. And inflammation is a big thing you are concerned about. So getting everything calm. Mostly this is a quality of life thing for me, but all right. So I've talked about it before, supplement fiber. I know I need to eat more fiber in my life. It's really difficult. I take this instead. Way better than Metamucil, by the way. Don't take that stuff. It's awful. Benefiber, easy. You can literally put it in coffee, tea, water, soda, juice. There's no taste. It dissolves. Makes a big difference. Enough said on that front. The next thing that's on my stomach supplement list is a digestive enzyme. And this is definitely kind of the thing that's the most hit or miss on my list. Some people it really helps and some people it doesn't. The best indicator of whether it might be helpful for you is if you have any kind of sensitivity to dairy. That's a really big one that the digestive enzyme can help with. Although it claims to help you process wheat and protein and everything, I think it's most well proven for kind of lactose sensitivity. Anyway, I'm not sure which part it is helping me with, but I definitely notice a difference when I am diligent about taking it. So I'm going to continue taking this one unless I get some feedback from the RE that there's something in here that might interfere. I haven't found anything to that effect, but full disclosure, I haven't talked this over with my RE quite yet. And finally, the newest addition to my medicine cabinet is this Renew Life probiotic. I did an extensive amount of research on probiotics and have decided to start taking this one. I used to be on a very expensive refrigerated probiotic that did wonders for me, and honestly, it was too expensive to continue taking. Again, in the vein of trying to get my gut as healthy as possible before I start pumping myself through with drugs that could upset it, I am starting to take this probiotic. Like I said, I did a bunch of research and I looked at a bunch of studies where they actually took probiotics on the market and tested them for how many live cultures they had once they had actually been shipped to them. Because it's really cute to claim that there are 50 billion live cultures, but if by the time it gets to you there isn't that many, then it doesn't do you a whole lot of good. And there's also different types of cultures that are more effective than others. So for the price, culture, ingredient, benefits, for weighing all those together, I decided to try Renew Life. Feel free to leave other really good probiotics down in the comments below. I will leave the study synopsis or the marketing study synopsis down below so you can go read it and make your own choice of what you want to do. But yeah, I am once again hopping on the probiotic train. I know that can do wonders for me. I really want it there. And that's it. Those are the supplements I'm taking. That is my line between what has been proven to be really, really helpful and what I'm willing to spend the money on. I think having a set of 5 supplements is plenty. It gives me that sense of control that I need, but it also, I know that I'm making impact because those things have been very much proven to be beneficial for pregnancy, sustaining pregnancy, building a healthy baby. What I am not taking. Turmeric. You noticed I am not taking my berberine or cinnamon supplements anymore because that is not safe to take during pregnancy, so I'm going to stop that. CoQ10, the Inositol, DHEA, vitamin C, those last 2 mostly because there's not enough studies to show that's really beneficial. And like I said, anything that's claiming to balance hormones, no, not futzing with that. I don't think it's responsible to introduce that when you're pumping yourself full of hormones. Granted, there are some more holistic REs that will be game to help you with that, but you have to have your RE on board. They are trying to do essentially something very scientific with your body, with pumping you full of these medications. So if you were going to take any supplements, make sure to disclose those to your RE. So that is what my IVF prep looks like for now. In a future video, I'm going to be going over my calendar and exactly what my protocol looks like. I'm still working out some things with my RE and insurance, so I didn't want to chat about that this week, but that is coming together. So hit subscribe if you're not already, because you made it this far. So you definitely want to be part of the journey, right? So I'm happy to answer more specific questions around why I'm not taking additional supplements. If you have one you have specific questions about, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. You can always talk to your RE or your primary care doctor about it as well. But mainly it's going to fall into one of 3 categories. It's either dangerous to pregnancy, which I am not going to do, obviously, or it doesn't have enough science behind it, and I'm not going to buy pills because someone on the forum said it helped me. I swear this is why. I definitely look at the science. You know that if you've been hanging around my channel for a while. Or I've tried it in the past and I haven't, felt any results of it, or I felt adverse effects. So those are mainly the 3 reasons behind me not doing anything. Like I said, I think at some point you need to balance the cost and mental weight of taking a zillion supplements versus, understanding the actual impact that they're going to have on you. I hope this was helpful. If it was, go ahead and leave a like. It really does help out my channel, lets YouTube know that you like what I am doing. And until next time, ladies, keep on fighting.